There's a reason in the series Kung Fu, the primary metaphor is, if you can take this pebble from my hand. Since I had audio trouble with Tuesday night's class video, I thought I'd do another one of these walking, talking thought things while I'm on my daily walk. Had a student a couple nights ago through a discussion, basically ended up talking about, should you be able to beat up your instructor? Now, like all things martial arts, that all depends. But I wanted to get into it a little bit. For one thing, it's entirely possible that a new student could be a very capable athlete and could be well versed in many other, say, martial arts, and is coming to an instructor for something specific, a new style. Well, in that case, they may be perfectly capable of beating up the instructor. That's not the point. The point is they're trying to acquire something new. But let's take the average situation. What my student meant. The average individual coming in to a class with no experience, should they be able to beat up the instructor? And of course, generally speaking, no, at least as long as the rules of the art are employed. Wing Chun, for instance, being more street-oriented, technically there would be no rules, but no instructor looking to kick a new student straight in the nuts or poke out their eye. So some things would be held back from. But more to the point, you have two conditions. Generally, the instructor, he or she, is going to be older than the student. So the student's going to have something that the instructor lost over time: youth and vigor. Martial arts help kind of weigh that out to some degree, but not entirely. But more importantly, from my perspective, if the instructor is worth their grain of salt, they will try their best to impart everything they have into the student. So eventually, student will have a great deal of knowledge and very probably a youth advantage. And so, yeah, they should be able to beat their instructor. That doesn't mean the instructor doesn't have something more to teach. It just means that's the averages. That's the way it works out. The idea that some instructors might hold something back, keep a secret, so that they can always be ahead of their students, that creates a problem. It means the arts are, any art, pick an art, they're gradually getting dumber. I hope that's not the case. I'm sure it is for some instructors. It's not for me. An instructor should do their best to teach everything they know at the appropriate times and get it all out there in a related note, or related fashion. And I believe it's Leon Ting in his book from the 80s or 90s. I'll put a text in to correct myself after I get home. He said in his lineage and his school, it was a requirement of the advanced student to go out and acquire another art. And they were to try and see if they could find the Wing Chun in their art. Hope the train isn't bothering us too much. To find the Wing Chun in this other art, and to take some of that art and bring it back to their school and incorporate it into their Wing Chun. Wing Chun, by its definition, by its long standing, is an emergent, evolving art. It is not static. The idea of, well, we did it that way hundreds of years ago, therefore we will only do it that way, does not apply in Wing Chun. As new information is gathered, hopefully we collect it up and incorporate it. So there is another situation where an advanced student, probably getting pretty close to the instructor's vast knowledge, goes out and acquires something that the instructor doesn't have. And he brings that back. That's a tough spot for the instructor, isn't it? So in answer to, should a student be able to beat up their instructor? Not that they ever should. They should always show respect. And for gosh sakes, this is not about beating up people. Defending, yes. Beating up, no. But should they be able to beat up their instructor, defeat their instructor? At some point, yes, if they're a good instructor.